everyone. Welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Hey. It's me, Shannon. Today we're going to talk about singer Selena Gomez's return to social media, a viral ad from shaving supply company Gillette, and a Cosmo article revealing how roasting your bae can strengthen your relationship. Plus, Lowry Neil Renninger of Ripple Foods joined the table, but first,
I love that the camera thought that I was you.
They went
We're
to
telling
you.
It happens all the time.
Then they went to Allie, and they were like, how many women are on this show? And I'm like, hey guys, I'm Shannon. We've been doing this show for 8 months.
But also,
it's me.
People always mistake us. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. It says Shannon in there, but they were like, let's go to Brittany.
I know, I wasn't even done with my read, and they were like, get out of her!
Anyway, the Oscars may still be without a host, but the Grammys have found theirs. Singer Alicia Keys will host the 61st annual Grammy Awards, set to take place next month in LA. Keys expressed her excitement for the gig, saying, I know what it feels like to be on that stage, and I'm going to bring that vibe and energy. I'm especially excited for all the incredible women nominated this year.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I see Alicia Keys hosting the Grammys in the future. I feel that.
Yeah, I mean, for the Grammys, they've done the award show without a host many times,
Yeah.
and they had LL Cool J do it because LL Cool J, between Lip Sync Battle and Grammys, good for him. That's what he's good at, hosting. So this is interesting. I'm sure she's going to sing a lot. And, you know, as a 15-time Grammy winner, she has a lot of experience being on that stage. So, yeah, and I love her. So why not?
I'll also add that she was a Voice host, The Voice. And I've said this before, The Voice is a place where a lot of these artists are going to sort of like, I think, gauge their popularity, see how audiences accept them, also build their personalities. And on that show, we got to see who Alicia Keys was outside of music. And she is this caring, loving being. And she's very like inclusive and open. And I think somebody who people just genuinely love. So to see her in this hosting position makes sense to me because she's somebody who I think has been really well received.
She's not going to be roasting anybody. I don't think she's getting into a little stand-up routine. She's going to do her own thing, which is going to involve...
She's pure love and like positivity.
Say some like words of wisdom. I think she's very wise.
Yeah, she might be a little political.
A little bit. Maybe more
but
like
even
loving.
she like does it in like a cool way.
Yeah,
you
she's
know?
just like, wears no makeup.
Right.
Yeah.
She like lives her truth in
Yeah.
a way that I think I always really appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the fact that she's a musician, I think it adds another layer to it.
Yeah, I mean, so now we have a host for the Grammys, but we don't for the Oscars. So they're going to do the Oscars without a host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
do you think of that?
I'm sad. I love the Oscar host. I'm someone who like literally watches Oscar monologues on the regular. Like that's because something I dream of doing one day. It's never gonna happen, but whatever. But it's such a real big thing. But I totally get it. You can't pick someone now because it's so soon. That whoever would host the award show would not have enough time to create the material. You know, those videos, all
Isn't there someone you can pick to just scrape it together for a couple weeks?
Yeah, but do you want to scrape together a couple weeks?
Yeah, you have no host.
Then have presenters. Just do a show with just like.
I don't think it's that bad to not have a host.
Right.
I think the presenters have like their moments, and the monologues, it's like, yeah, I might miss it, but we get monologues on so many shows. I don't necessarily need it for the Oscars.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's good to try something new, especially after like, there's just so much going on with that situation that I think it's good to just step out and like let the Oscars be the Oscars and not this person and this thing and all this drama.
Yeah, I agree. And when Kevin Hart stepped down, he was like, one of the reasons was that he's like, now it's distracting. Now it's taking away from all the people in the audience who have worked their entire lives to get to this moment. And just to be about one man isn't fair to them.
I understand.
So I'm with Shannon. I think like having just the presenters, and I'm not gonna miss a host because right now it's sort of like who would want to take that job? Who would want to be put in that position?
And it gives the producers more a chance to be very creative, to fill in that gap, maybe filming like extra videos with like actors or whatever they could do in the meantime to fill in the gap of not having hosts. And also this year, because remember that one year they didn't have any musical performances, but this year they clearly have Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper nominated. Like, that'll be a big performance. They have other best songs. It's like we'll see people perform. They can do other things that can make the show actually more interesting, maybe in a new way.
Yeah, I think in general, all TV shows should be more open to playing with format. I think it's 2019. I'm so bored of everything just being like, we do this every year. This is the way we do it. This is a ceremony. This is a guy. He talks for 20 minutes. It's like, stop. Can't we just like be a little fresh?
Exactly. I think doing slight tweaks is important. And we've seen that a little bit where they don't do major overhauls when they do, and it does sort of like shorten the show or make the transitions a little more easy. And as viewers, it's hard to get anybody anybody to sit down now for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
So anything they can do to kind of
Only
tighten
for The
it.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's sitting down for The Bachelor, right, guys?
And Kevin Hart hosts that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Bachelor, Jesus Christ.
It's
that was
way too long.
10 hours of my life and never get back. Yeah, but the Oscars is actually one people in the audience.
You watched the one episode 3 times.
I literally watched that one episode 3 times in a row. I couldn't stop. But with the Oscars, though, people in the audience actually don't like it so long and boring. You don't get food, you don't get drinks, unlike the Golden Globes. So like you really need to entertain them in a way, which is why when was it Ellen who got pizza or
Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel got pizza. That was a big deal.
And then everyone overdid that. And then every award show they were giving out food, and I was like, stop! You're all so fucking hacked.
Except for the Golden Globes, they gave out flu shots, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, but even that was funny too. But that's all don't you feel like that was all the riffing on the same thing? I was like, guys, think of one new bit.
I know, but it worked for me.
Yeah,
you love
I've
that
got
stuff.
a simple level for comedy.
No,
it doesn't have to be too
funny.
complicated for me. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to watch it, of course.
Yes. Singer and actress Selena Gomez has returned to Instagram for the first time since September. In the caption of her recent post, Selena opened up about her journey and self-reflection, detailing how last year's challenges show what she is capable of overcoming. So I recently saw on Instagram Selena Gomez was in a photo with Taylor Swift and Cassie David. I'm not really totally surprised about Selena or Taylor Swift. Cassie David, what the fuck are you doing? I thought you were someone else. Like,
I thought she was a little more edgy.
I don't know, like you're hanging out with Taylor Swift is so not on brand for you.
I am not surprised. You know what I was surprised about? Selena Gomez has 30 million more Instagram followers than Taylor Swift.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Selena Gomez is the most followed person on Instagram. That is
144
such
million,
a
right?
twist. Wizards of Waverly
Just
Place.
30 million more.
That following.
Wow.
Who knew the Wizards of Waverly Place?
Yeah.
100 million people watch that show and now
Yep.
all follow Selena Gomez.
Yep.
Whoa.
People love
You think
Selena.
more people would have talked about the dad in that show and his nudes?
Oh, yes.
Because he had classic nudes that
Oh
I
my
cannot
God.
get over.
You were a big proponent
can't
of
miss
the
that.
dad. Oh, Shannon informed me right away of the news of the.
I totally, please explain.
So the dad from that show, he had his nudes leaked, and
Which is
I mean,
sad, which is not good.
yeah,
because
don't leak them.
Don't leak.
Oh, like
other
he was
people's
hacked.
nudes. Come on.
Yeah, he was. I don't know, he was hacked, or you know, if he was hacked.
Right.
Or like was on
Understood.
Yeah,
the wrong
interesting.
person. But yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that could have happened.
But
But
they
thinking-
were spicy.
Yeah, Selena Gomez is also the queen of Instagram, which sorry, Egg, you're not there yet. But yeah, I mean,
Selena Gomez has been the reigning queen for a really long time, and I'm
time.
surprised some of you were surprised about that.
I'm surprised. I don't follow her, so maybe that's why I just
I
don't
don't
know.
follow her because all of those accounts that are so big,
Yeah.
they're so like fake.
They're so impersonal.
They're so impersonal. It's like one post gets like 50 million likes. I'm like, this is bullshit.
well, and I also
Show me your
I
ass.
also don't like being sold things.
Yeah.
Like, I love Rihanna, but I don't follow her on Instagram because all she does is sell Fenty makeup.
Right.
And I'm like, I support your business, but like, I just want to see you.
So on one
Totally,
hand,
I hate when people sell out and start doing that stuff.
well,
Yeah, but Rihanna still makes all her Fenty videos when she's high, and so
Oh,
that's
does she?
still very authentic. Yeah, if you watch any of her makeup
right.
tutorials, she's like, "Good morning," and you're like, "Oh, my little high Pisces."
That's kind of cute. That's
Yeah,
kind of cute.
I
That's
love
very
her.
real.
you have different levels of celebrity Instagram where you have like the Real Housewife who's selling teeth whitening strips like
Right.
nonstop ad on every single picture. Then you have Rihanna, which is like selling but like from herself. Beyonce, which she clearly has no idea what her Instagram
No.
password is. That assistant is running that, and it's beautiful. but,
Very
like,
well,
But
but-
Beyonce is not on that Instagram. Then you have Madonna taking like bathroom selfies, like I'm 60 and hot kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, clearly she's in charge of that Instagram because her manager's like trying to take the phone away from her.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I like a slightly disheveled Instagram.
I
like
like-
Goldie Hawn for me.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
things are spelled wrong and the video's shaky, and I'm like,
love
that's
that.
my girl.
Hot grandmas on Instagram, like Goldie Hawn, Madonna, they are the best ones on there because they are running that shit and they're making typos. They
Oh,
are
it's
they
great.
are reaming
I love
out
her Instagram.
people.
I love Jennifer Garner on Instagram.
Oh, she's funny.
She's so sweet on Instagram. She just like will take a picture of like a muffin and be like, made it, haha, hashtag like fresh. And I'm like, cute. That's so cute that that's what you're up to. Happy for her.
What do you guys think about celebrities getting off of Instagram? Like Selena did. She was off for a
Hate
few
to
months.
see that. I want them to stay on. Always.
Well, I mean,
It felt like that opinion was for all of us. For some reason, even though you didn't say
Yeah.
I'm speaking for all of us, I was like, oh, she just spoke for me.
Yeah, like, I was like,
okay,
Yeah, it was so affirmative.
I mean, Selena Gomez, I get it. If you have like 100 million subscribers, you're getting
got
a lot
it,
of.
you got it.
I get it. As someone who has like a little over 1,000.
You guys, Lucas gets it.
I get you, Selena. You and me are the same. But I'm assuming it's a lot of constant attention and people like adding you all the time and like.
It must be hard for her. Well, probably at her point, she would shut off notifications.
Oh,
which you need to do.
Which I need to do. I still need to do that.
You need to do that.
Well, it's also like not every celebrity has the same experience, and Selena Gomez is definitely got like one of the worst online experiences. Yeah. People trash her all the time. Like they trash her body and her weight fluctuations. They like make fun of her cheeks. So they make fun of her not being able to sing. They always bring Justin Bieber into the mix. So I mean, like I see how she's not having as much fun as other people.
Yeah.
But then the amount of people that follow her, I'm still so surprised because it can't all just because she dated Bieber, because I think she has more followers than Bieber. So
it must be some of these people with like an international, like I feel like she's known beyond America. There must be like Wizards of Waverly Place must be like the #1 show in like.
Yeah,
but she also has like a lot of famous friends. I mean, it's Bieber, it's Taylor Swift, it's Demi Lovato. Like she also runs with like this very popular crowd.
So I think she's siphoned enough followers.
Yeah, I think it's just like her
influence. They're fake followers.
Selena has bought 100 million.
Selena, they're all bots. She's not even famous.
She's a Russian operative, actually. No, but yeah, I'm glad she's doing better, though. I don't know a lot about her health issues, but the rumors that she suffered from a breakdown, that she's a lot of other health stuff.
She got off right after she got some bad news about she had a low white blood cell count. And so she was going through health struggles, and I think just kind of couldn't deal with all the extra attention and vitriol. So
I'm
glad
to see her back.
With Cassie and Taylor.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Cassie.
Well, moving on, razor company Gillette is under fire after the company recently released a commercial that took a stance on the Me Too movement. Called We Believe the Best Man Can Be, the ad, which encourages men around the nation to change their behaviors and become the best versions of themselves, faced backlash on social media with the hashtag boycott Gillette, while others praised it for sparking an important debate. See for yourself.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it? We can't hide from it.
Sexual harassment is taking over.
It's been going on far too long. We can't laugh it off.
Who's the daddy?
What I actually think she's trying to say.
Making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally changed.
Allegations regarding sexual assault and sexual harassment.
But she says
and there will be no going back. Because we believe in the best in men.
Men need to hold other men accountable.
Smile, sweetie. Come on.
To say the right thing. To act the right way.
Bro, not cool, not cool.
Some already are. In ways big and small.
I am strong.
I am strong.
But some is not enough.
It's not how we treat each other, okay?
Okay. Because the boys watching today will be the men of tomorrow.
I love all the men in that commercial. I love the men that are like stopping the other men. It's like when he's like smile speeding, he's like, yo, don't say smile.
Yeah, it's like, be cool, man.
Don't say smile.
So hot, so hot.
It's so
he was so hot in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, I think it's sweet, and I think anyone who is upset about that ad is like crazy.
Yeah.
What's funny? The people.
You're crazy.
Are you like crazy? What's it bothering you?
What's funny? The people who are obsessed with these ads and flushing their razors down the toilets and destroying their plumbing, which is just an unneeded side effect.
Doesn't make sense.
Boys will be boys.
Are the same men that point out like when people are being too sensitive or too PC or too whatever. So the fact they're getting a little bit of what it must be like to be a woman or a person of color, an LGBT person, to face stereotypes, and they're being like, we're not all like that. No. Like, it's unbelievable. This is a great ad, and Gillette, I mean, if we have a woman president, thank you, Gillette. I mean, clearly, they're now responsible.
Yeah, we can let the misogynists not shave. I mean,
I don't think they were shaving to begin with.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, there's nothing in this ad is generalizing and saying all men are bad. They even pull real life videos of standout men, like that handshake video is real, and the video. Yeah.
And the little baby in the mirror.
And the baby with the dad who did the daily affirmations. Those are real examples of amazing men. So I didn't feel like there was, you know, that much room to be offended. But at the same time, like, this is the first wave of men being questioned at all.
Right.
So I understand that it's uncomfortable for them. It's just like, it's tough, man. I wish that they weren't so offended by it.
Yeah, it's tough. I grew up in a house full of men. I have 3 older brothers. And so when I watched this, I actually had like a real emotional reaction because my brothers obviously had a lot of male friends and they've said things and they've done things, but I see them now as adult men and they have children and the things that they do, positive affirmations with their kids and walking in parades and supporting other groups, like they are these really great men. And so I looked at that video and I saw my brothers and I was like, those are the men that I love and respect. To me, that's the definition of masculinity, is to lead and protect and to be vulnerable. So I don't understand why there would be negative backlash, because for me that was really empowering.
Yeah.
And I like that the ad kind of looks at like about the childhood of boys are raised or whatever, because it's a big thing we are grappling with, how the Me Too movement, how boys are raised to view women as others and unequal. And I think as I'm one of 3 boys, and people always commented my mom raised us all just to be like good people, and I've always viewed women as equals who are my friends and whatever. I think that's the next thing to kind of tackle. I mean, and also what we should look at too, this is not just saying conservative men or liberal men, like Jennifer Palmieri, who was on Hillary's campaign, would say, during meetings, Hillary would say something, and then a man next to her would say the exact same thing, and she'd go, I believe the secretary just said that. Yeah. Like, even liberal men, progressive men would mansplain, would talk over women, and even a woman like Secretary Clinton. So, like, this is the problem we have to grapple with, and we all have to learn.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those people are just not even aware of what they're doing. A lot of those men just are on autopilot, and they don't realize that they're making those mistakes, and they're making other people feel really bad. So I think this commercial is just saying be mindful of, like, not just, like, what you're doing, but your potential to have an impact on others, especially the youth. Like, we should all be mindful. Like, I'm always reminding myself to, like, be acknowledging my privileges and to look around and see, like, oh, is something bad happening that I'm just, like, standing by and, like, letting fly? Because I shouldn't. I should be, like, trying to make the world a better place just like we all should be.
Totally. I remember in high school learning, like, being uncomfortable is so not fun all the time, but it's really necessary to learn, because I've had to learn things that I didn't know, like, and I wouldn't be who I am today if I wasn't called out or I wasn't taught, because then it just happens. People have to be okay with, like, being wrong.
Yeah, and I think being uncomfortable is just a sensation. It shouldn't be seen as good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be like, I'm uncomfortable, this is bad. Like, every time you're growing, you are gonna feel uncomfortable. So it's actually a sign of a very positive thing that's happening to you.
Yeah, and I think men have to understand that it's not just about the individual, it's about the society and things that have been ingrained in men over time that they're just now having the opportunity to address. I mean, I know a lot of men have issues with self-image and vulnerability, all these things that they weren't even allowed to feel a year ago, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's good to have these conversations even, and for men to feel like they can be like, I don't like this because, and then address why this made them feel a certain way. I think even that's a conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah, I think this is a conversation very important and helpful for men specifically, because they have the highest suicide rates.
Yeah, totally.
And that's because they're not allowed to express themselves. So, like, we're trying to, like, cure toxic masculinity, not so that I can just run around rampant as a female and gain all the benefits. This is for men too. We care about men and women.
We need men.
We do.
Yeah.
we love men.
Like, we want you to be here. We want you to be fathers. We want you to be leaders in the community. But I think that first you have to deal and understand why you don't like this. If you can, I've talked to men and they're like, well, I don't like it. Why? I don't know.
And then when you talk to them.
Express why and talk about why.
Yeah, when you talk to them, you realize that, like, they're not coming from a bad place. There's sometimes, like, a discomfort and a misunderstanding, and they feel they're taking some of the general ideas. But if you take those conversations and you're patient with them, you realize that, like, then they're more open to it. And then all of a sudden they perk up. They're a little freer, and they're like, oh yeah, I am a good guy. I don't need to take offense to this.
Yeah. I've watched all of my brothers evolve and change, especially having kids. When I was at home, my nephew was 8 years old, and his mom pulled into the driveway, and he was like, oh, mom's here. I'm gonna go see if she needs help. And he went out to go help his mom carry in groceries, and my brother's like, yeah, I've just been working with him on being polite to women. I was like, oh my God, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Mom would pull in and he'd be like, Mom, nice tip.
Right. Or like, Mom, did you get my Pop-Tarts? I want to point out that Gillette is also raising money, and so they're donating $1 million to charities supporting men over the next year. So again, as we've talked about on this show, seeing people putting money where their mouth is actually actionable steps to improving the conditions, I think, are important as well. I just wanted to
Yeah,
point that out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we love it. Claps for Gillette and
men.
advancement. Anyway, do you need an ice for that burn? According to an article in Cosmo, roasting your partner can prove to be one of the strongest indicators of a healthy relationship, as long as it's done in a lighthearted manner.
Yeah.
What do we think about this? As someone who is a roaster, I'm really curious to feel like...
I always call my girlfriend a fat bitch. And no, I'm joking. She's watching.
I was gonna say she's definitely watching. You're gonna have to pay for that.
No, I don't roast her. I think I can play with her, but if I sense it's not the time, I have to quickly retreat. However, I think it's pretty bad to roast your partner in front of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with that.
I think it's totally different if it's like a private teasing, but in public, I feel like it would not go over well. It has not gone over well.
What this article, I think, does right, which I agree with, is one is, I like people who have a sense of humor about themselves. If you can laugh at yourself, great. And two, if your humor is matched. But, of course, I think it's when you're one-on-one, you poke fun at each other, little quirky things you do, but I have learned the wrong way that when you are in front of, like, their people, their friends, and you start roasting them a bit, that is not good, and I've did it once, never did it again.
It might be okay if it's delicate and playful, but who knows, you know. It also depends on the person.
It depends on the person.
Do you think it's like when you bring up things around their friends and family, then their friends and family jump in, and then it becomes like a roast?
That's not good.
That's not good.
Also, because some people don't know what it is to roast with love.
Yes.
That's the thing, is like some people think like roasting is like, you're a fucking loser, your wife left you and your kids won't speak to you, and it's like, okay, that's not fun roasting. Take it easy. And I think that's the danger of roasting your loved ones around their family, is that like sometimes then their uncle's like, yeah, your mom didn't want you, we all wanted you to be aborted, and you're like, that's not a good joke.
Right. That's a bad joke.
That's absolutely true. The origin of the roast is you roast the ones you love.
Yeah. Right.
So it has to be with love. And there's a reason why when you roast people for a big comedy roast, you always have the guest of honor seated there and you're roasting them, and it's actually supposed to be an honor to be roasted, so you can quickly, cross that line if done by an uncle.
I know when the Obamas were in office, Michelle talked about when she would go on the campaign trail, she would like tease him and be like, well, you guys think Barack's perfect. He doesn't pick up his socks. So it was really messy. And people actually got mad at that. Maureen Dowd actually said that she was like emasculating him.
No,
and people,
cute.
and she was like, I was just trying to show that he's a human and that he's like this profound intellectual, but he also like can't pick up his socks. But again, people like read that differently. So it's hard even when it's a lighthearted joke.
Yeah.
People like get,
It might have to do with, I'm thinking now that like the intention of the joke probably isn't to get other people to think something like is at fault with your partner, but probably more you're flirting with your partner.
Yes.
Right.
It can't be you're trying to win an argument through roasting, and definitely not for the right people.
Oh my God,
you shouldn't hate her, right?
It's like roasting should be like, it's done well, flirtatious.
Yeah, it's flirting. Also, I just feel like I don't roasting qualities that you can't change or mean. Like if you go have someone.
Is this a dark window?
I'm just gonna drink my protein milk right here.
He's like, she shouldn't call me a dirty Jew, right? No.
What do you guys think about roasting friends?
Yeah.
That's like so my currency with people.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
playing with them and teasing them. But also, you can't be too mean. I've been too mean before.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, you have.
Let's roll the
you guys all saw it on the show for the first 2 weeks.
It's like a
First 2 months, I was just like, are you being bullied, Lucas? Are you okay?
Well, that's what she loves. She loves me though. I do.
Roast the ones you love.
Yeah. I do. Definitely friends. It's like and I need my friends to roast me. I think it's important for friends to call you out on your bullshit.
Yeah, you need to be checked.
Yeah, so you can't like just go free. Your friend will be like, no, Brittany, you always do that. And I'm like, I do, you're right. You know? I think that's important.
Right.
Yeah.
Or else you become a narcissist and you become crazy. You have to have your friends check you.
Absolutely. It's fun seeing those celebrity couples on Instagram like poke fun at each other.
Oh.
I'm trying to think who comes to mind.
This one is, they're not like a super popular couple, but Boris Kojo and Nicole Ari Parker, who we've had on Bill Brunch. Apparently she was like calling him too much, and he like did this post. It's like, honey, I'm going through a tunnel. I can't pick up my phone. Like, you're nagging me or whatever. But it was like really fun and playful, and he like put her on blast for being annoying, basically.
I thought for sure you were gonna say Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
That's
because they're always roast each other, and we all know you love Blake Lively.
I love her fashion.
Roast.
I love her fashion.
I love her suits in A Simple Favor.
This is what I'm saying.
Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
She's really hot in that.
Movie good though? No.
It's okay.
Oh wow, not movie good. Woo.
She's so hot in it, it doesn't matter. That makes the movie good.
And now we're roasting Blake Lively.
We love you, Blake Lively.
Woo! And now it's time for our special guests. Adam Lowry and Neil Renninger are the co-founders and CEOs of Ripple Foods. The company is a newcomer to the non-dairy market whose flagship product is a non-dairy milk made from peas. Here to tell us more, Adam Lowry and Neil Renninger.
What's going on?
Hey guys.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Ollie.
Hey.
Yeah.
Brittany.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey.
Hey, Brandy. How's it going? Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
So exciting. So here we're drinking this milk. So good. Why don't you guys tell us the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, well, we both Adam and I have had previous businesses that have had social and environmental impact, and we kind of came together and said, hey, why don't we do something in the food space? And we started with dairy products.
Yeah, and most plant-based foods are pretty gross, we think. So we wanted to make plant-based foods that were actually delicious, and that's where it started.
Cool. And what made you decide on peas? Because there's all types of non-dairy milk, but peas is kind of new.
Kind of.
It's a little funky.
Yeah, well, we wanted to replicate milk as best as we could, and that means replicating the taste, but also the nutrition. So we wanted to get protein in there, and peas are a great source of sustainable plant-based protein.
But they taste kind of gross. So, but fortunately, these do not, as you guys are experiencing. And the reason for that is actually, there's no reason that getting the protein from a plant source has to taste all planty, and that's actually the secret sauce that Neil came up with in starting this thing.
And how did you guys meet?
Yeah, that's we go way back. We were kind of on the same. I'm sorry. We were on the same sort of sustainability-related company speaking circuit with our previous companies, and we met at conferences. And
very exciting.
Yeah.
Super exciting. Yeah,
exactly.
Business conferences.
You guys were like, wait, I like peas too.
Yeah.
And you started making method cleaning products out of your bathtub, right?
Yeah, that's true story.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I started Method with another friend of mine back in 2000, and we entered that space not knowing anything at all about consumer products or how to do it, and so we just did it the way that we figured you could do it. So we literally used beer pitchers in our bachelor pad that we lived in at the time, and we kind of mixed things together, and then we put them in bottles, and we went selling them door to door to grocery stores in the Bay Area.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm
obsessed with cleaning, so like you're like a cleaning rock star.
Oh wow! I don't often get this. I know you're talking about Selena. I don't have as many followers as she does.
Shocking.
Yeah, but thank you.
I exclusively use your hand soap, and can I say at first I bought it because I loved the bottle, and then I read the message. I was like, oh, it's also like
that's actually a big part of the point, and we're using a little similar thing in that playbook with Ripple, which is what we're trying to do is we're trying to lead with product that's better, environmentally, socially, and then if you do that and you make the product better, then anybody can buy it, and they don't have to be sort of a greenie person to buy it, and that's the whole point, right? We got to kind of have a bigger tent for this sort of thing if we want to use business in a good way.
Yeah. Speaking of on that note of developing a business that's both better for the environment and your health, because I've been learning more and more how dairy is not very good for you. We shouldn't be drinking as much milk, and even though I love cheese, dairy's not good for you. Do you think business leaders?
Delicious. Yeah.
It's so delicious. So many kinds. So many kinds. Do you think business leaders have now kind of a more obligation to develop products that are both healthy as well as environmentally progressive?
Yeah, we lead with the product, and it really is. Our belief is if you make a great product that meets all of the consumers' needs and wants, and it happens to be sustainably made, people will gravitate to those sorts of things. So you start with a product, make a great product, and hopefully that has a lasting effect.
Yeah, that purpose is sort of like it's like an aspect of quality now in products. And it's kind of like if you don't have purpose and sustainability as a part of the quality of your product, like you're not really in the game. So it is a requirement.
Right. Do you have any advice for future entrepreneurs now who are trying to develop their winning the $1 million idea?
I always tell people just to not treat failure as something that is bad. Go out and try, And if it doesn't work out, you learn, and that learning can be translated into your next attempt.
Yeah, we're super lucky that we live in a country where if you go out and start something, you fall flat on your face, as long as you've learned something, that can be a better experience than going and getting a job at the big company or something like that. It's not a black mark. And now it's also, there's plenty of capital out there, so it's not as risky anymore to start a business as some people think. So go for it.
Speaking of the product, where can people find Ripple, and what was the journey like getting it into stores and selling the idea of pea milk?
It is kind of a weird thing, buy my pea milk. And we don't actually position it that way, really. It's more just about a fully nutritious plant-based product. But yeah, getting products into grocery stores is kind of a trip. We're in about 12,000 stores, Target, Whole Foods nationwide, and sort of leading grocery stores around. But there's a whole industry that's associated with that, and we've got a team of people, salespeople that are experienced in that world. Obviously, I sold to a lot of those same customers in my previous business, but yeah, that's the sort of hard part, the kind of blocking and tackling of a business like this.
It's been an amazing journey, right? I mean, the first products I can think of were made in my kitchen and tested on my kids, and so
we do test on people, not animals.
And they weren't good to start with, so as my kids will tell you, but they love them now. I mean, they like my kids drink these for dessert.
Yeah,
they think
his kids are jacked.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You should see.
Lots of pull-ups.
This is probably great for a post-workout or something, because I'm always looking for something to.
That's the idea, 20 grams of protein, very little sugar, and and if you've ever had another vegan protein shake, you probably understand how this is a lot tastier. So.
Right.
And are there other products that you guys are going to develop and let us see in the future?
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah. So we want to build a whole brand that spans the dairy range. So cheeses, ice cream. We have these creamers. We have a kids pack that kind of goes in a kid's lunchbox. But
yogurt, cheese, kind of anywhere that it normally comes from dairy, that's a place that we can play.
Ice cream.
Exciting.
And, we're trying to.
Ice cream.
Well, the ice cream's incredible. It's not on the market yet, but we do have it.
This is changing my life.
It's spectacular.
And it is insanely good. Bring it. We'll get in touch, okay?
I'm gonna say let us test.
Here.
Yeah,
okay?
I would love that.
It's insane.
I am lactose intolerant. It is very hard to find an ice cream that is satisfying.
Yeah.
So we are happy to test for you guys.
Yeah. We're happy to come back. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm so excited. Definitely come back when you have your ice cream. No doubt. Adam and Neil, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you can pick up Ripple milk at a grocery store near you and learn more at www.ripplefoods.com. That's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table.